What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Solana today. It is the 24th day of December. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, whatever it is. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. It's Christmas for me, so I'm going to say Merry Christmas. I feel like I'm in this world where I have to say not just Merry Christmas. I grew up just saying Merry Christmas, and it wasn't political. It wasn't something political. Nowadays, someone says Merry Christmas, they're saying, I'm a conservative and I only say Merry Christmas because Christmas is the only holiday. Or if they say Happy Holidays, well, I'm a soft liberal and I say Happy Holidays because I want to be considerate of everybody and screw my own beliefs. Let's put yours ahead of mine. It's all BS. It's all fugazi nonsense. I just want to say Merry Christmas because it's the holiday that I celebrate, and I don't want to be labeled or think about things any different way. But this is the world we live in, and I'm going on a rant to start off this video. But anyways, F your holidays, right in the butt. Let's get started here. Hit the like button and subscribe. $123. Screw the PC, man. The political correctness. Before we get into this, I do want to just say, I've noticed that Solana, to me at least, it looks a lot like the others chart. It looks a lot like this chart here. And there's been a lot of theories as to why alt season hasn't started. And I just want to, without getting too far into it, I want to say maybe we're just waiting on Solana to show up, right? Solana showed up early this cycle. Well, so did altcoins, right? Ethereum did its thing, but guess what? Altcoins didn't really get hit too hard. Ethereum was moving down, and altcoins did move down as well, but they didn't move down as hard as Ethereum did. They basically look the same as Solana here. I wonder if we're waiting for Solana to show up, and that's whenever altcoins will start to rally. At the end of the day, alt season's going to happen when we have Ethereum pumping, BNB's pumping, XRP, Solana. When your top 10 coins are going through the roof, it's very hard at that point to not have an alt season because people will be taking profits and rotating into smaller projects that are on these chains or that are like projects, right? And even speculative plays outside of that. But I digress. All I'm trying to say here is it looks very similar to the others chart. Out of all these coins in the top 10, the others chart closest resembles Solana. I think there's something to that, right? And there's probably more altcoins on the Solana ecosystem than there are on most ecosystems. I think there's more altcoins on the Ethereum ecosystem, if we're being fair. But anyways, 122 right now. Looking at this on the short term, we look at this on the 1 hour time frame here. We are very bearish on the RSI. Sometimes what happens is you'll take this downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, you turn it into a sideways trend, and it's during this sideways moment that you really start to come out to the downside, like to your worst effect, right? But then you shift into an upward sloping trend, and I think that will happen, but just looking at this here, we're probably going to find resistance. We have lower highs. Here you have a higher high in the RSI, hidden bearish divergence, come down. Stochastics have reset, come down. MACD's bearish, come on down. 4 hour time frame here, looking at this. Finding support at this level here, right? Let's see. Low to high. Is that the right high? Yeah, I think that is. Golden ratio support. Now we're up at the 382.5. It reminds me of everything else that we've been looking at today, man. With the 1 hour looking the way it does, with the 4 hour looking the way it does, rejecting the zero here, building bearish momentum. Stochastics are bearish, and the RSI looks bearish. You're not getting overbought, and you are getting oversold. I do expect we get oversold here. We probably go lower. If we're finding support at the golden ratio, we find resistance in this area, and then we return to the golden ratio. If we return to $121, the statistical probability of going to 119 to 118 is tremendous. And even then, we could go lower. We could go to 113, 110. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but prepare for the worst. 113 to 110 might be the worst. Let's just see here. From a low to a high, I'm going to put this low in right here. Yeah, your golden ratio is at like 108. So 115, 108, whatever. Something in that range might be where we go, unless we hold support at 118 to 119, okay? But it's very tricky here, okay? It's very tricky. There's a whole process that needs to develop before we get bullish. If we find resistance here, if the indicators on the 1 hour and the 4 hour time frame are telling the truth, I fully expect that we will go to the 786, 886, which would be 119 to 118. The statistical probability of this goes up tremendously once we return to 121. Now, that's not that far away from here, okay? The thought here is that we could, from here, also bleed out lower. But if we can come up and get above the golden ratio, if we can get back above it, likely this would be our low. If we come up and we find resistance at the golden ratio, like this, we come back down, well, likely we are going down to this area here, okay? So look for that. The only time that we might be less prepared for 110 to 113, 108 to 115, whatever it is if we just make a straight shot down there, which could also happen. But let's kind of, before I go on to the daily time frame, I want to just show you guys what I'm looking at here, okay? Let's just see if we can find another example of this. For example, here, you know, if we're looking at this from a low to a high, you went right through your golden ratio to your 886, bounced all the way up. This is actually pretty normal stuff, that kind of volatility if you go through the golden ratio on the first attempt, but it's not what we're seeing here. Notice how you were below the golden ratio, and you came up, you found resistance at it. What did that mean? That meant that you went lower, down here, right? See, that respected the golden ratio again. That means you go lower, to this golden ratio even. So just that thought there of finding resistance at the golden ratio will validate that we are in fact going to these areas. Right now we're finding support, but that's normal. Oftentimes you find support here, you find resistance in this zone, and then you work your way down here. Then you find resistance at the golden ratio if you're working your way down here. Sometimes it's one fell swoop. But if we go below the golden ratio and then we don't come back up, but we close back up above it, that would signal that this is the low and that we're ready to move up. I hope that makes sense. And with that, we'd have some look of like a double bottom too, by the way. Looking at this on the daily time frame, I mean, we're just consolidating. That's all we're doing. This consolidation, this low area of consolidation is a lot more mild than what we had back here earlier this year. It's a lot more tame, a lot more mild. The RSI, I mean, it even kind of looks similar as like this area over here. In all honesty, like this reminds me of this over here. How long did we consolidate for? I'm actually kind of curious in this zone. We consolidated until we found our low. It was 42 days. And then we broke out, you know, arguably like here on the 50th day. We've been consolidating here for what, probably about 40 days. I mean, it's pretty comparable, man. Soon enough, we'll be moving up higher, absolutely. Stochastics are bearish here, though. Makes me think that we go lower. MACD is bearish here technically as well. You had a false red cross, now false green cross. Something to note is that we've got this bullish divergence, massive bullish divergence built up here. I mean, something's going to give soon, guys. Something is going to give very, very soon. But for the time being, we might just come down a little bit more. And when I say come down a little bit more, again, I'm not anticipating lower lows. I am expecting that we find support somewhere between 130 or what was it, 119 and 120. But if we do go lower, 115 to 108 will hold as support. We'll move up from there and then recover. I want to look at the weekly time frame real quick. The weekly time frame, RSI, stochastics totally reset at their oversold areas. MACD is neutral and useless. The MACD is going to be useless in this sideways choppiness. Same is true on the 1 hour as it is for the weekly. The MACD is useless. So the fact that it looks bearish is actually probably a bullish sign, because when we were bullish, we were actually at the top. When we were bullish here, we were at the top. When we were bearish here, we were at the low. So I think we're probably, again, very comparable to what we did back here. Looking at this here on the weekly time frame, my expectation is that we will resolve this area to, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to draw it like this, a lot tighter. I meant to do it like this, very tight, like a toiga. I think we're going to go up like this. We're going to go up. We're going to see new all-time highs. We're going to break out here probably sometime in January. January will start to move up. It might be February or March that we finally get to new all-time highs, though. Okay, but I do expect that this consolidation phase will result in a bullish breakout overall. Okay, from a high to a low, bull market high to bear market low. The first target to keep in mind would be about $670. The secondary target from there would be about $1,100. Okay, that's a 5x from here to potential 9x from here. And the golden ratio is all the way up at $2,200, which might be your 2026 cycle ending high up there. I highly doubt that we go higher. Anything's possible, but we'll see. We'll go from there. First things first, let's focus on 670 and see how that goes. Overall, what we're doing here on the long term, on the macro scale, this is very bullish stuff, guys. Moving up like this and doing a horizontal consolidation phase, I've always been taught that that implies bullish comeuppances, bullish begettings. I don't know. We would likely continue in the path that brought us up to this consolidation phase, okay? Finding support at the 786 up here, you're not even touching the golden ratio. You look super bullish here. It's a very easy thought, easy dots to connect here that we're going to go up to this zone. But the not so easy thought is when. It could be next week, probably not. It could be 5 months from now, probably not. It's probably going to happen sometime in Q1 that we start making this move up and that we get above these highs. We might not even be in this level at the $670 to $2,200 level until Q2. but we'll be making strides toward that level in Q1, if not potentially even being here by the end of Q1. We could be as high as $600, $700 by the end of Q1 or higher. I got nothing else. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you got something from it. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. And I do assume that since we're expecting Q1 to be an all-time high breakout for Solana, we will likely see alt season officially begin in Q1. And again, those dots are connected from the fact that out of all of our top 10 coins, the project that closest resembles our others chart is Solana. So it might make sense that altcoins are waiting for Solana to show up. And Ethereum too, probably. Hit that like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.